You're listening to Eat, Theatre, Sleep, Repeat. Blackpool Grand Theatre's podcast. Your fun-filled look behind the curtain. Get ready for incredible stories, backstage gossip, community highlights, and plenty of star power. Let's dive in.
Hello and welcome to Eat, Theatre, Sleep, Repeat. Joining me this week are my three special guests. Playing Eric Morecambe, we have Bob Golding. As Tommy Cooper, we have Damien Williams. And finally playing Bob Monkhouse, it's Simon Cartwright. And collectively, they are the cast of The Last Laugh, which is coming to Blackpool Grand Theatre in August. Now, welcome, guys. A question for each of you to start with. How much of a challenge do you find channeling these comedians? And what is your process in doing this like?
Well, it's been a long process, really, of each of us have dedicated our careers, really, to these acts over the last, for me, 16 years. For the other boys, longer as well, I think. So it's something that we've come at from a place of love and affection and respect, and something that we are constantly working on.
I think because we've been doing it for so many years and we're so aligned to these characters. I mean, I knew Bob Monkhouse personally on and off for a period of years. It's quite natural for us to find these characters now. It's not a deep dive. You know, we're not trying to discover these characters. That they're almost part of our psyche now and in our bloodstreams.
Yeah, so, I mean, they're our heroes to start with, and we have all played them before. I did a play called Being Tommy Cooper, and Bob did Morecambe in the West End, and Simon has done A Man Called Monkhouse. So we have all played these guys before. And as we said, we are quite nerdy about them. We're all massive comedy fans, and Tommy was the reason that I got into the business in the first place, as much as I think with Bob, I think Eric was one of the reasons he got into the business. And Simon, you'd say the same, would you? Was Bob Monkhouse one of the reasons you got in the business?
Oh, totally. Yeah, he was a massive inspiration. And it was because of Bob Monkhouse that I sort of really wanted to pursue a career in entertainment. So I think we all feel like that around our characters.
And what were your, I guess, early memories of the characters growing up? And you know, what was it that attracted you to them?
Well, we're all men of a certain age, aren't we? We're all in our 50s. And so,
I'm in my 20s.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's just his neck size. So we grew up with acts like this and older. You know, when we were off school, people like Laurel and Hardy and Will Hay and Harold Lloyd, they were on TV still on BBC.
You had a lot of time off school, didn't you?
Well, I did because of the comedy.
Yes.
I didn't want to go to school because I wanted to watch these greats do their things. And they inspired the next generation, next wave of comics, which happen to be the characters that we're playing. Isn't that right, Simon?
And I remember Bob Monkhouse in 1970 presenting a programme called The Golden Shot, which is a very, very famous game show. So, you know, my memories go back almost sort of 50 years or so.
What about you, Damien?
Yes, I remember watching Tommy with my dad, actually. That's my youngest memory. I used to watch my dad cry with laughter at Tommy, and I was too young to understand why it was funny. And then I realised as I got older just how funny he is. But like Bob, I grew up watching, you know, Laurel and Hardy as well. I was a massive fan of theirs. Tommy Cooper, Morecambe and Wise, Les Dawson, all those old school comedians, which is quite apt for us coming to Blackpool because that's where they were at their height in Blackpool.
Yes.
Blackpool.
We're really looking forward to Blackpool.
Yeah.
You're backstage with Eat, Theatre, Sleep, Repeat. Make sure you hit follow.
What people might not know about this production in particular is that after the interval, there is a Q&A on stage with you guys. Have you had any weird or quirky questions that have arisen from other shows?
Every night is weird.
Yeah, I mean, rather than questions, it's often you'll get unusual comments, or people will give you bits of information about the characters that so we're always learning and discovering, and it is amazing the audiences who we're attracting. Often, you know, it is the general public, but you might have people who would have worked with these characters, somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody. So it's lovely, these stories, these urban myths that keep popping up every other night or so, but we love doing it. And it's interesting that it's attracting the audiences. If they didn't like the first half, they wouldn't stay for the second half, we would think, is rule of thumb. But they're loving it. And the Q&A has sort of almost developed its own identity now as a very popular, you know, Q&A piece for comedy.
Yeah, and also you never know who's in. I mean, we met a guy that was a magician who taught Tommy some magic tricks. We also met one of Tommy's old managers. He came to see it. I met him after. We've met different comedy writers. There's been so many people in. Who was the guy that wrote what's his name? Keeping Up Appearances and Last Summer Wine. What's his name?
Oh, Roy Clark.
Roy Clark, yeah, met Roy Clark. He came to see it. There's so many, and there've been so many like comics and people that have come to see the play. So yeah, it's been great. You never know who's going to be in there.
When I played Eric in the one-man play Morecambe, we did a Q&A after that, and Peter Kay came along, and he was in the audience, and I was dreading him putting his hand up, and of course he did. And he said, "Yeah, I got a question for Bob. What Chinese are we going to?" So that was his contribution to the evening.
And what
when we were in
Chinese
the
did you
West
go
End, yeah, I'm saying when we were in the West End, it was an incredible experience. We used to sort of be told just before who was in tonight, and there were so many celebrities and old terms from the business. It just attracted all these people, including Jimmy Tarbuck, who is central to this whole story, that he was hosting the show in which Tommy died in 1984, live at Her Majesty's. So it really is attracting wonderful people from the business.
And do you guys have like a moment or a joke even from the production that sort of stands out? Or is there without giving too much away, is there something that really stands out for each of you?
No, we'll urge you to come and see the show, because the style of comedy in which this play is written, Paul Hendy has written it, is very, doffs its hat to that era. And I think if we gave any of the gags away, it would be opening the gate a little bit too wide, but there's a clue there. Also, we every night we get asked what's our favourite story or joke that our particular character has had said about them or has told themselves. So that's another incentive. Come along and hear those, because there are some absolute corkers.
Grab your seats, theatre lovers. It's Eat, Theatre, Sleep, Repeat.
And what have audience reactions been like for the production? Have audiences acted different in different places that you've been to?
Do you know what? People have loved it. We've had you can feel there's so much love and warmth for these guys out there, particularly in the UK. I mean, we did do this in New York where they didn't know who we were. So that was a bit more of a challenge, because they just thought we were free. We just made up a play about 3 comics in the dressing room. But over here, you can feel the love and the warmth as soon as we walk on, and people are loving. People wait for us at stage door to tell us how much they enjoyed it, and I can't remember that whether that's ever happened to me in a play before. But it's the love and the affection that we get from people.
And finally, Blackpool is a very show-centric town. How excited are you to be bringing the 3 characters and the production to Blackpool Grand Theatre?
Very, very excited. I think the ghosts of our characters will be present, because we know that all of our characters played there probably many, many times. I mean, Bob Monkhouse would have done summer seasons there, as I'm sure Eric and Ernie.
There's a statue of Eric and Ernie there.
Tommy would have been headlining there on many occasions. So it's lovely to sort of think that we're going to be treading on the same soil as our heroes. It's a real privilege.
Yeah. Well, it was the home of show business, wasn't it? And as you say, you've got the comedy carpet there. There's that museum of show business I'm looking forward to. There's the tower, to go to where Charlie Caroli, made his name. And so there's so many links there to the show business. Yeah, we're all looking forward to it.
And a play like this really does belong in a place like Blackpool because of its history. We're incredibly excited. So if you want to have a great night at the theatre, a full rounded night, there'll be lots and lots of laughter, and a few tears, and even a couple of songs in there, then come along and you can even contribute as well to the evening with the Q&A, as you say, after the interval. So we're really thrilled to be coming to Blackpool.
Because it's warm, poignant, nostalgic.
Yes,
those things.
And we can have a little bit of Blackpool rock, can't we?
Yeah.
We'll have plenty of that on offer for you when you arrive here. Speaking of which, the last laugh arrives at Blackpool Grand Theatre on Tuesday the 26th through to Saturday the 30th of August. Tickets are still available. Call the box office 01253 290 190 or book your tickets online via the website blackpoolgrand.co.uk. A big thank you to my guests, Bob Golding, Damien Williams and Simon Cartwright. And until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Hi, thanks, Luke.
That's a wrap on Eat, Theatre, Sleep, Repeat. Thanks for joining us at Blackpool Grand Theatre. And don't forget to like, most definitely follow, and join us again. Until next time, stay fabulous.